Right, what's up? How we doing? Today is Thursday, September 15th, 2016. A little late, I know. Rich Van Tassel with you, giving you the recap of the Thursday night game that just went final. The Jets winning 37 to 31 over the Buffalo Bills. Got a lot to go into with this game. We'll do the box score first. For the Jets, Ryan Fitzpatrick was very impressive tonight. I got to give him that. 24 of 34, 374 yards, one touchdown, no interceptions. Matt Forte, 30 rushes, 100 yards. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 5 for 21. Forte logging 30 carries. That's a lot. 3.3 yards per rush. Did have 3 touchdowns, though. Altogether, the team was 36 of 123, 3.4 yards per rush. The receiving game was very good. That's where all of Ryan Fitzpatrick's yards came from. Obviously, Eric Decker, 6 126, 1 touchdown. Brandon Marshall, 6 101. Quincy Enunwa, 692, had a couple big catches. Jalen Marshall, 3 for 35. So you saw that the Jets were just throwing it all over the lot. Not much the Buffalo Bills secondary was doing tonight. Jalen Marshall lost a fumble. Ryan Fitzpatrick fumbled. It was not lost. And Kellen Davis recovered a fumble. The Jets did not have any sacks, so give Buffalo's offensive line credit there. Marcus Williams had an interception. Jalen Marshall, 3 kick returns, 39 yards. That's a 13-yard average. Julian Hussar, 1 for 15. No punt returns. Nick Folk, 3 for 3 on his field goals. For the Buffalo Bills, Tyrod Taylor was not very good today. He did have a couple of deep passes, which kind of inflated the numbers a little bit. But altogether, 18 of 30, 297 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. Again, he had like an 80-yard touchdown and another one of those touchdowns, I believe. It had to be over 50 if I'm remembering, to Greg Salas. LaShawn McCoy, not much. 15 of 59, 3.9 yards per rush. Tyrod Taylor, 2 for 25, which is 12.5 yards per rush. So altogether, 19 of 86, which is 4.5 yards per rush average, which is good. But when you look at the numbers, the running game wasn't really that effective, especially with LaShawn McCoy, and Tyrod Taylor only had 2 runs, and one of those was a scramble. Marcus Goodwin, who had the 84-yard touchdown, 2 receptions, 108 yards. Greg Salas, 4 for 89, 1 touchdown. And, yeah, that was a 71-yard touchdown. So you look at those 2 touchdowns, how long they were, it really inflates the numbers. Nickel Roby Coleman recovered a fumble. He returned it for a touchdown. EJ Manuel fumbled and recovered his own fumble. Buffalo only had 1 sack that belonged to Lorenzo Alexander. No interceptions. Brandon Tate, 5 kick returns for 125 yards, 25 yards per return. Pretty good. Dan Carpenter was 1 for 1 with his field goals. Now we'll start with the New York Jets. Their defensive line was not as dominant in this game as I'd expect. And altogether, the game, I was expecting a bit more low scoring. I thought that the Jets' offense would come awake. I had it 28 to 17. Obviously, there was more points going around. 10 more points the Jets scored than I predicted. 14 more for Buffalo. But Ryan Fitzpatrick looked sharp. There were a couple drops that would have inflated the numbers. Well, at least one big drop Brandon Marshall has. I think there was another one in there, but honestly, I can't remember at this point. But that would have made the number. He might have even gone over 400 yards with that. So he was sharp on some of the touchdown passes. Eric Decker, they had no answers for. Buffalo did. He was just getting whatever he wanted. He was really working Ronald Darby in this game. But the Jets defense, I thought Darrelle Revis, he did give up that big play to Marcus Goodwin early in the game. To me, that was one more that just caught him by surprise. I mean, it was like 3rd and 13 back at your 16-yard line, and then you're just dropping back and gunning the ball downfield. That's why I thought Revis was a little just surprising. Suddenly a guy's running full speed, and then next thing you know he's gone. You're kind of like, whoa, they're actually going for it here. But after that, I thought he was really playing well in general, so I thought Darrelle Revis came back. I'm a little disappointed they didn't have any sacks. I thought Buffalo made the adjustments on the offensive line to keep New York from getting those sacks, but I was expecting a lot more the way they were just all over Andy Dalton. And Cincinnati's offensive line is better than the Buffalo Bills' offensive line is. Now, a lot could have been week 1, we'll see. As for the Buffalo Bills, they are now 0-2. They've really got to just start finding more consistency. They only scored 7 points last week, only gave up 13. This week they scored 31, but give up 38. Their defense is much better than this, in my opinion. Ronald Darby, the second-year player, I feel is going to be a good cornerback, and he's certainly not trash as of right now. And Stephon Gilmore, I think, is very underrated and one of the better cornerbacks in the league. And to see the way they were getting gashed really surprised me. The Jets' offensive line actually will go to them because it kind of ties in with Buffalo's pass rush, and we know Rex Ryan likes to blitz and get sacked. I thought the Jets' offensive line would take a step back without DeBrickashaw Ferguson anymore. They've actually been playing very well and give Brian Winters a lot of credit up front, but they only gave up, or Buffalo only got one sack. The Jets' offensive line only giving up one sack, so I'm a little surprised there. And the offense, they're not getting LaShawn McCoy involved. Granted, the Jets were really controlling time of possession. It was really only big plays, the two big touchdowns and the fumble return for a touchdown that kept Buffalo in it. So I don't think their offense could get much rhythm in this game. Despite scoring 31 points, like we said, the two big pass plays and the fumble return. You're just not on the field that much. I think that took away from Tyrod Taylor being able to get his game right and for them to be able to stick to the running game. But they're not establishing the run. LaShawn McCoy is not looking very good, and there are a lot of question marks with the Buffalo Bills. And just this game in general, the Jets would have been kicking themselves if they lost because they completely outplayed Buffalo the whole game and gave up a couple big plays. And even they were commenting on it on television. I commented before they said anything. When it first happened, the Jets scored a touchdown late to go up what was 12 and then decided to kick an extra point to go up 13 and not going for 2 to make it 14, which didn't make much sense. So thankfully it didn't come back and bite them, but I was a little surprised by that. And I just want to make one final note, kind of a silly thing here, but at the end of the game, Buffalo went for an onside kick and they popped it up. It went 15 yards. Brandon Marshall caught it, and that was that. And I think it just speaks to a general stubbornness of coaches in this league. That play to me doesn't work, and especially when you have all the guys. Now you have to put half of them on one side, half of them on the other. I like an onside kick where you just kick it up the middle. All the guys are basically up front. You have one guy back, way downfield to be deep. You kind of just bounce the ball up the middle. You run and have a scrum there. To me, this pop-up just doesn't seem to be working, but it's all the coaches know, so it's all they do. And, just wanted to make that note. I know it's a bit, senseless in that regard, but I just wanted to touch on that, the stubbornness I saw that seems to come with coaches when they just continue to run that same thing. Alright, so tomorrow, Friday the 16th, we will give you all the previews of the games coming up for Sunday. Of course, Monday, we do the Monday game on Monday, but we'll give you all those previews, and be sure to stay tuned for that. And as well, you can hear it on WBJL Radio, and we'll see you tomorrow, so enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you.